I honestly, I loved serving in Antwerp. That was honestly one of the favorite times of my mission, was serving in Antwerp. I had the opportunity to serve there for 4.5 months, and that is a beautiful, blessed city. I think some of the interesting things about Antwerp is that it's a port city. It's a city that has long been one of the centers of trade of the world, and with the diamond trade in particular. If you walk out of Antwerp Centraal, the train station there, you see going this way and that way diamond stores. Diamonds, rings, jewelry, you name it, it's sold about 10 steps outside of the train station. And it's one of the world capitals of the diamond trade. And because of that, you have a lot of people from all over the world. Antwerp is a city that has a lot of immigrants. There are a lot of refugees that make it to Europe and that settle in Belgium. And a lot of them will go to Antwerp. I know there are a lot of people from Ghana there. I love to teach them. They were just so much fun to teach, to get to know all these different cultures, all these different people. And when I was there in Antwerp, we had a car, but we also made use of the public transportation there. And it's pretty good. They have tram systems, and if you can really learn to understand the tram systems, there's a tram that goes from A to B, and it just goes back and forth. If you can really understand that and figure out where each of the trams goes to and from, that will help you a lot to get around Antwerp quickly. If you know where the stations are and where the different trams go, that helps a lot. It will save you a lot of time, because even when there's traffic, the trams go through on time. The traffic has to stop, and the trams get priority. And then they also have buses. If there's somewhere a tram doesn't go, a bus will get you there just as well. And so the public transportation system in Antwerp is very good. It's like that in most of the mission, but in Antwerp they have a very polished system. It's really good. And I think that one of the really cool things about Antwerp is their centrum. They have, or the city center. It's gorgeous. There's these beautiful old buildings, this tall, towering construction, a nice, wide, open plaza areas. It's a beautiful city center, and it's, even if you don't buy anything, I would recommend going shopping there. It's an amazing place. They have all kinds of great things. But I would definitely recommend going there just to look at it and just to take pictures to remember, because it is a beautiful place. And if you really want to see some interesting things and you want to get some cool souvenirs from Antwerp, there's a place you can go. It's called the Groene Plaats. The green place in English doesn't really make sense, but if you go there, and I recommend this, they have kind of, some tourist shops in the area. So if you want to get some souvenirs, you can go there. But that's where their city hall is, their Stadshuis. And that's a gorgeous building. It has gilded statues and flags hanging there. It's an amazing building. And in the middle of the central plaza area, there's a statue. And that statue is connected to Antwerp's history. And the legend goes that Antwerp it's always been a port city. It's always been a shipping city. But the legend goes that hundreds of years ago, there was a giant who lived in the neighborhood. And he would block the river with his hand when a ship came by. And if they didn't pay the toll, he'd smash their ship and the crew would drown. So of course people paid. But one day there was a young ship captain who thought that wasn't the right way to do things. He decided he would challenge the giant. And he had his sword ready, and when the giant commands him to pay the toll, he refuses. And so the giant, raises his hand to smash the ship, but he pulls out his sword and he cuts the giant's hand off. The giant falls to the ground, and he grabs this hand and he throws it. And that's where the city gets its name, because the Dutch word for hand is hand. And there's an slightly older Dutch word for to throw, and it's werpen. Hand, werpen, Antwerpen. And that's what the name of the city means. It's the throwing of the hand. And that's what the statue is. It's that young man, and he's throwing the hand. And they've got the giants down there underneath him. You can just see him standing up and just throwing the hand as hard as he can. And that's such a cool statue to see. I know my teachers told me about it. Other missionaries told me. I thought it was so cool, and I got to see it myself. That is one thing I would say. If you live in Antwerp, you've got to go and see that statue. And the members will be able to tell you where it is. Missionaries that have been there for a while will tell you where it is. It's something that's definitely worth seeing there. There's a lot of different trades that go on in Antwerp. It's a very normal city in that aspect. I think definitely the diamond trade, like I mentioned a little earlier, is very big in Antwerp. Jewelry and diamonds are always to find in Antwerp. Antwerp in general, it's a good place. There are places that you definitely need to be a little more careful about where you go late at night. But I think as long as you just are aware and you follow the instructions in the White Handbook for Missionaries, then you'll be just fine. Antwerp as a whole is not particularly plagued by any type of crime. You just have to, use your healthy understanding. You have to listen to the promptings of the Spirit, but it's not very hard to be safe in Antwerp. Not at all.